See, these ladders are stepping stones to your life too as well. In order to achieve, you got to believe in yourself and keep climbing that ladder. Have to elevate your game. And then once you reach the top, it's all smiles. Always believe in yourself, and you can achieve whatever goal you want to achieve. Never stop. Don't ever give up. I searched for freedom all my life. I never gave up. And now I found it. And I refuse to give it back. Freedom is a sense of feeling. You have to be free within yourself, within your mind. The weather feels good today. It feels real good out here. At a good 68 degrees. It's lovely out here. Feel me. I need you guys to feel me. When you look around, look at your situation and think to yourself, what is it that burdens me? What is it that holds me back? And free yourself. When you figure it out, let it go. Free yourself from the burdens. Become the person who God wants you to be. Man, it's nothing better than having peace and freedom. It feels so good. Well, it's time to go. I've been here long enough. It's time to shake the spot. Yeah. I got my hey dudes on. Hey dude. I'm big stepping in my comfort shoes. Well, I just got me a little exercise in just now. And it feels kind of good. I got a little sunshine, a little B12 in me. I guess it's B12. I guess that's what it is. Now it's time to mosey on along. Yeah, with that pretty smile. Yeah. Yeah, let it be known that Magic Man Wiz got his pretty smile back. No gap in between his front two. Yeah, that's 100. See, confidence will take you a long way. If you believe in yourself and you have the confidence that you need, you'll go far in life. Don't ever doubt yourself. Always be on point. Now let's mosey on along. then at this Cracker Barrel is where I'm gonna be staying at tonight. Come on. Go ahead and use the bathroom. Well, guys, it's like 2 a.m. and I'm still camping at a Cracker Barrel. And just checking things out. You know, I gotta look at everything before I decide to get relaxed. I like to pay attention to everything. Just sitting here chilling, you know. One of those nights when you want to get some rest, but you just gotta pay attention to certain things. It's only it's one guy over there across from me. He's doing the same thing. He's in his camper van too as well. It's just me and him. It's just two of us out here tonight. So I'm just like kind of staying on my toes when it comes to something like that. I remember when I was on vacation, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm laying up there just staring at the ceiling with the music playing. I remember those nights. See, when you're in there, you have opportunity to have a radio, and you have headphones that you can listen to. And I'll be in there listening to that while I'm staring at the ceiling, waiting on 4 a.m. because that's when breakfast come at like 4:30 in the morning. And after I eat breakfast, that's when I go to sleep. And I sleep till lunchtime, which is about 11 a.m. Then I get up, do my exercises and everything. I'm used to being up at night. I remember I explained it once before. Somebody tried to get on me for driving all night long. But what they didn't realize was that I'm used to being up at night because I stay up all night long and sleep during the day. That was my routine when I was out on vacation. You know, sometimes I sit back and I think about how far I've come. And it's like I really wasted my life all for a dollar bill. I dedicated my life to something that didn't give nothing back in return. See, this is what I go through. Y'all want to know the real? Well, this is the real. Late night, I think about it a lot. Some nights I sleep, some nights I don't. And I just be reminiscing about how far I actually came. I've come a long way. And sometimes I feel like it's impossible that I made it, but I actually made it. And it gets hard sometimes. It really gets hard. And if you don't have the willpower and the focus, you're not gonna make it. There's a lot of people that don't understand, you know, what a person go through. If you haven't been there, then you wouldn't know. If you haven't been through the things that I had to endure, then you wouldn't know about it. You can hear people talking about it, and that's about it. I ignore some of those things that I've seen, that I've witnessed. I push it in the back of my head because I don't want to think about it ever again. Just being free, it allows you to stabilize your thoughts and understand different things and see things in a different perspective. I just decided to get on here tonight because I was bored and I just felt like I wanted to just talk about something to get a little bit off my chest, vent a little bit. As a man, when you're put into a certain type of environment, you have to adapt to that environment. You have to become that environment. And with that being said, I had to adapt. And just remembering the first time that I ever went, it was horrifying. It wasn't hard for me to adjust, but deep down inside, it was horrifying to be put in a position as such and never been in that type of position ever before. It's like learning how to drive. You never got behind the wheel and somebody hand you the keys and put you on the highway and say, go. You have to adapt and adjust to that situation. And from me hearing all of those stories and what can happen and different things, when you get inside, when you finally get there, you thinking about those things. You're thinking about it. But when it's not like that once you adjust. It's a mental game that you go through when you first arrive. Me being from the street, it was easy for me to adjust and adapt to my environment. As to where on the opposite side, people that's not from the street, it's hard for them to adapt to that. And they have problems, they have issues, and they go through things. I didn't go through anything. I just became my environment. And I went through mental stress, but I didn't go through anything else. And I hid it very well because I didn't want no one to know what I was going through. And I didn't want no one to be a predator towards me. I had one incident, and after that incident, it was a long time before I ever encountered another incident. But that incident, I had to really handle that situation. And when I handled that situation, I was put on, it's called segregation. I had to do 30 days. I was only there for 2 days, and they put me on lockdown for 30 days. I wasn't even in there a good 48 hours. I had to put the smack down. And I went into, it's called a special housing unit. It's called the SHU, SHU. And I had to spend 30 days in total confinement, 23 hours of lockdown, and 1 hour what they call recreation. And please believe me, that was a very horrible thing. Because I'm really thinking I'm finna go read a book and kick back and relax. When you got people slamming the table, beating on the door, it's enough to drive you crazy. And I had to sit back and realize exactly what they was going through. After about 5 days in there, it felt like I wanted to slam the table and beat on the door and knock the food trays through the little, it's called a bean slot. When your tray come in through this little hole in the door, and it came to the point to where after 10 days, I felt like I wanted to do the same thing. Damn, 5 days. I made it past 5 days. So after this 10th day, I started making friends, quote unquote. We would take a comb. We would pull the thread out of our blanket, and we'll tie the thread together. And we'll take our hair comb. They give us a comb, toothpaste and toothbrush and stuff like that. And we would slide notes under the door. It was called fishing. We'll slide it from one end, from one cell to another cell. And that's how we communicated. Now we can talk back and forth through the door because there's a little window that's inside the door. You got a window and you got a little bean slot where your food come in at. And we was able to talk that way too. That's how we communicated. But it was no contact or anything. My first experience, I couldn't make it past 48 hours. And I was wild. I was a wild one. I couldn't believe how wild I was when I sit back and just think about everything. I went in at 19. But keep in mind that I go so far back. I'm always thinking about everything, every aspect of my life. I'll go back and backtrack to see where I went wrong in certain points of my life. So I have no choice but to just sit there and remember and think about that. Because my life has changed dramatically. I mean, it's changed like really for real, for real. People see me now and wouldn't believe that it's me. It's people that I was in prison with, and they see that I've made a big change. Now my time is here, and I live in my truth. And like I say all the time, I'm not afraid to speak about any part of my life. I'm not ashamed of no part of my life. I'm open with every part of my life because I wouldn't be where I'm at now if it wasn't for all those episodes that I went through in my life. When I take a look back, I can go as far back. Oh man, I can go back as a kid. I know exactly around the period of time when my troubles started. And compared to today, I've had a lot of success and I've had a lot of downfalls. I've climbed that ladder and I fell down off that ladder. And now I'm trying to climb it now without falling, because now I have discipline. I have control. I have focus. And I don't let anything distract me. So one thing about it, if you ever want to be successful, you can be. There's only two things that's required to be successful: discipline and focus. Those two things are majorly required. Just thinking about all the war wounds, the things that I've gotten myself into, And I'm still able to be here and talk about it. Like I mentioned before, me being shot, okay, I'm not embarrassed about it at all. I've been shot 7 times. I've been stabbed more times than I've been shot. I've been in situations that was life-threatening. I've been in situations where my life was jeopardized. I've almost compromised my well-being. It's been some difficult situations I done put myself into, and I had to climb myself up out of it. When people look at me, they could never even tell that I have such a story to be able to tell. I just never talk about my story because I want to keep, I try to hide some of the story. But I don't mind talking about it though. Like I told you in the beginning of my journey, that you guys are gonna get bits and pieces here and there of the storm that I encountered and that I went through. But the storm is no longer here. It's gone. The storm is gone. I've heard this lady tell me that I've been touched by an angel. It wasn't an angel. I've been touched by God himself. God has been walking right alongside of me the whole time. And every time I fell, he was right there to pick me right back up. He never let me hit the ground. And what I mean by hitting the ground, I'm still alive to talk about it. I would stumble, and then he would give me help. Because my whole life has been a roller coaster, like I said. I climb that ladder and get so high. And then when I get to a certain point, it's like I take a fall. I take a fall and I go right back down. I truly understand that I do have a story like no other. Everything seemed like it happened so fast and so quick. When you living in that moment, everything is passing you by. And then you get to an age to where none of that stuff even matters anymore. For me to walk away, it didn't matter anymore. For me to turn my back, none of that stuff mattered. A lot of people would say, man, you gotta be a damn fool to walk away from making that kind of money to making pennies right now. That's what bothers me. When I lay in that bed and I grab that pillow and I hold that pillow tight, I'm sitting there and I'm laying there thinking, I gotta be the biggest damn fool in the world. But then I reflect back. I have some of the most important things in my life now. I have structure. I have focus. I have discipline. I have knowledge. I have wisdom. And the most important thing of them all, I have God now. And with that being said, on this journey, I have not struggled one time. I have not struggled. I've been doing this almost 3 years. and I have not struggled. That's what keeps me going, because I know it's a higher power. I know there's a God. For me to still sit here and talk about this and talk about the things that I've went through. People be blessed, but they be blessed in their own way. My blessings, I know my blessings. I know where they come from. I know exactly what they are. Even though I've been through what I've been through, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Sometimes it still bothers me, but it keeps me grounded. Just sitting here thinking about past events that occurred in my life, it still gets to me sometimes. And when I think about it, because please believe me, I do think about it. Whenever I think about that money, I have to think about what came with it. I have to think about the consequences that I had to endure for the addiction of the money. Like I said before, people have an addiction to different things. I've never been addicted to anything. I've never been addicted to women. I've never been addicted to drugs, alcohol. I've never been addicted to anything. I never let nothing control me. I never liked mind-altering drugs because I seen what it did to other people. I've always watched what went on with others, and that was how I learned everything that I know now, from just paying attention and knowing I don't want to go through that. That's how I educated myself. I knew that I didn't want to feel the pain that these people was feeling, because I can feel what they was feeling, and I never wanted to endure that type of emotional stress, the emotional pain that they feel inside. Because please believe me, I ran from their pain. I didn't want their pain. So I stayed away and didn't do those things that they was doing. My addiction is the lifestyle, the money, what the money can do for me. That's my addiction. And I had to really humble myself and break free from that addictive cycle. But every time I lay in that bed, please believe me, I'm thinking about that money. I'm thinking about that lifestyle. But that lifestyle ruined my life. I can honestly say that it took control and snatched my life from up under me. Because I didn't see it then, but I see it now. Me walking away from that lifestyle, I see all of the mistakes that I made, and I see that it ruined my life. So I had to walk away in order to see things clearly. You know, I had to bump my head 3 times before I actually got the picture. Federal prison, it was too easy for me. And the reason why I said it was too easy because it took me to go to state prison to say I don't want this shit no more. Federal prison is a breeze. If you knew how to survive on the street and you was a cool cat, then you would make it in federal prison. But you just can't be scandalous and backstabbing and conniving. If you don't have those qualities, then you're gonna make it. That's federal prison. Because guys in federal prison, they're more on a stand-up guy type shit. State prison, you dealing with animals. You have to become an animal in order to survive. You could be on some player shit in federal prison. You wear your dickies, dicky top, dicky bottoms, your Nike tennis shoes, one ring, one chain. But state prison, you have to become your environment. And you do not want to be part of that type of environment. So I bumped my head 3 times. And then I decided this is not for me. I'm too player for this shit. I make player moves. I do player things. I have player thoughts. I speak player. This is not where I belong. Knock on wood. And I thank God I ain't never went back. Because I made up in my mind, this is not for me. I don't want to be an animal. I don't want to live like an animal. I don't want to become an animal. I don't want to hurt nobody. And I don't want nobody hurting me. Nah, I don't want that. This is just late night thoughts of the Magic Man Wiz. But I'm not gonna sit here and just bore you guys to death with my blast from the past. You know, I'm on a good foot now. So I gotta stay on a good foot. A lot of women. I backed away from a lot of things because I know what I want in my life now. I escaped from that part of that life. I can remember like yesterday, the morning I woke up and I said to myself, I'm done. And the night prior to that, I won a bunch of money. I won a bunch of money. Like I always did. But that morning, I said I was done. I peeped through those blinds. I looked outside. It was a bright, sunny day. And I sat on my couch and said I was done. And never went back. Never went back since then. To this day, I have not went back. Because I seen what was going on. I failed relationship. That money was not making me happy. And I set out for happiness. I went out looking, I needed happiness because I have never been happy. I thought I was happy, but I was not happy. That breakup showed me that I needed happiness in my life. And that's what I found. I found my happiness by learning me and realizing who I am and digging deep within myself pulling out that person that's been hiding within myself this whole time. Yeah, I did that. And it actually feels good. It actually feels good. But through it all, God worked in mysterious ways. And for some reason, He was not going to allow me to ruin the rest of my life. He must have took a drop of water and threw it on me. Because that morning, don't know where it come from. Don't know nothing about it. But that person died in that bed and somebody else got up. Because that person never revealed itself again. Yeah.